Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of John Matrixx Talks Movies. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me. Today, I want to give you my review of Bumblebee. Now, I'm not going to really spoil the movie at all, so feel free to watch it all the way through, and you can judge for yourself after this if you want to see it or not. Now, I will say I really did enjoy this movie. Now, I must be honest, I watched this movie a day after watching Aquaman, so this movie was not as good as Aquaman. I had my review on Aquaman, so check that video out. So it's kind of a downgrade from Aquaman. So if I sound like I'm being a little negative, it's not that I'm being negative. It's just that the movie wasn't as good as that coming the day after watching Aquaman. But overall, this movie's very, very good. It is light years better than like the last 2 or 3 Transformer movies. The last 2 were so bad. The last one was really, really bad. It was so bad that I only watched about 30 minutes of it and I stopped watching it because it was that bad. But this movie is really about a young girl. She's kind of at a crisis in her life personally, and she ends up finding Bumblebee. And you start to really see how their relationship starts to blossom, because she's really kind of a loner. Her name is Charlie. She's really, really a loner, and Bumblebee comes into her life because there's a huge event at the beginning of the movie, and it leads Bumblebee to coming on Earth. And it's a huge action scene at the beginning of the movie that takes place on Cybertron. You actually get to see Cybertron. That was really, really amazing visual, so good, and that's the reason why he's on Earth. So, and you actually do get to hear Bumblebee actually speak, and you do find out how he actually will lose his voice. Now, that's not really a spoiler. I'm not really spoiling anything about Bumblebee, but that is what happened. Now, as far as the action scenes were very, very good. It was much more simplified in this movie than I would say the previous Transformer movies. The Michael Bay Transformer movies, sometimes the action is just so over the top that you really can't see what's happening. That's not the case in this movie. This movie is very, very easy to follow from an action standpoint. Even from a story standpoint, it is very easy to follow. It's a simple story. You know, the bad guys versus the good guys, and the government is involved. And of course, in all of these movies where it's like technology and the government always makes stupid mistakes. That's no exception in this movie also. Now, a little bit of the negative here. We all know that John Cena, he's in the movie, he's playing a military guy. John Cena is not that great of an actor. I really do think that they could have found someone else to play his character. Because sometimes when he would say certain things, it was like, ugh. It kind of just, it's not very good. Now he didn't kill the movie. I'm just saying he wasn't that great. It wasn't a bad performance, but I expected a little bit more. But the real driving force of this movie is actually Bumblebee, because for the most part, the character of Bumblebee doesn't say any words in this movie, not even with the radio. So it's really up to the CGI people to get the computer graphics correct to make you feel the emotion that's on his face. And they do a very, very good job of doing that in this movie. Now, along with Charlie is another guy named Memo. I really couldn't understand his name when he actually said it in the movie, because he's kind of this guy who's really into Charlie, and like he's been trying to introduce himself to her throughout the movie. And once he actually does say his name, it's just kind of like, what? I didn't know. I actually walked out in the movie and not knowing what his name was. I had to look it up because it's very, very weird. Memo. That's his name though. His character, he was really the comic relief guy. And I was expecting a little bit more from the male character in this movie. He's kind of like the sidekick to Charlie. Charlie's fantastic. Memo, he does all right with the comedy, but he's really just the comic relief in this movie. Yes, we do get to see Optimus Prime in this movie. He's not in this movie very much. It's just right. It really is just right with the amount of Optimus Prime in this movie. Of course, Angela Bassett, she's playing a Decepticon. There's a couple of Decepticons in this movie. They're really are the main villains in this movie. So it's not an all-out war. This is really an origin story to the first Transformers movie. It's about how the Transformers end up really coming to the Earth. But overall, I think this movie is actually pretty good. It's really probably the best Transformers movie since the first one. It really is. But like I said, it does have some flaws as far as some of the acting goes and a few of the characters. But overall, I think this movie is a solid B+. It is really, really fun to enjoy. You can bring your family to this movie. I don't know why the movie is actually rated PG-13. To me, it has more of a PG vibe to it. So there's actually, even when people are killed in the movie, you don't see any blood in this movie. It's like this plasma kind of thing. So it's not overly violent as far as like killing goes in the movie. So I think this should have been a PG movie. But anyway, that's my review on Bumblebee. Are you going to see it? If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.